So, tell me first, where are you taking me?
We're on Highway 28 now, coming from the Sand Harbor where we filmed that first introductory thing. Where by chance, sheer chance,
Yeah.
we bumped into each other.
I know.
And
It's astonishing. Isn't it?
Astonishing
Yeah.
kismet. This is going into the village, North Lake Tahoe, that I reside in. We're going to go up and down a mountain called Mount Rose, which is pretty spectacular. And I'm going to take you to Hook City, Whitesnake's private recording studio. It's a residential house that we've transformed rather miraculously with copious amounts of cash into a digital, we have a video edit room there, so we're entirely self-contained. I think the only thing we actually send out as finished product to be mastered by a dear friend of ours, the final process in Los Angeles. But yeah, other than that, it's we've been archiving stuff, because I'm almost 45 years in this business. We found a cassette with Richie and I jamming on the early ideas of Stormbringer at really crappy quality, but I think hardcore fans won't give a poop. At Clearwell Castle, where we were kind of in resident.
This is just beautiful.
Isn't
this stunning?
We're still in Nevada. That side over there is California.
I was looking at your website.
Oh my God, am I curly today? What is
are.
it? Humidity?
It's the weather, love.
It's the weather.
It's the weather.
Right. So, boys and girls,
frizz.
this, if you can see, this is Mount Rose.
I was looking at your website, and you were talking about Richie, and on your website there's a blog where you talk about how you auditioned.
Oh, there
are some
Scorpio Studios.
There are some wonderful pictures of you. Didn't your mum send this picture of you as a
No, I borrowed it. Yeah,
Boy Scout?
I had to send a tape, and the only tape I had was a drunken demo session done at 10cc's old studio at Strawberry Studios in Stockport with an incredibly insensitive, unhelpful engineer. So I just commenced to drinking, and it was not really good. But the Deep Purple office insisted on a recording and a photograph, which I didn't have. So I'm at my mother's and I went, "Can I borrow this picture of me as a Boy Scout?" I've got the terrible stains on my pants. I don't know what I was doing. It's horrifying, but it's out there on the internet. There's nothing I can do. Too late for Photoshop, boys. The damage is done. So anyway, so I sent it down. I'm a Dear Deep Purples, as you can see. I'm always prepared. I'm salute or whatever. I just thought and then gave up. My mother insisted that I returned the photograph before the days of digital copies and stuff.
And you got the gig.
And Pacey, the Deep Purple office, 25 Newman Street, just off Oxford Street, was floor to ceiling tapes and albums of some well-known artists, man, after the gig. And each member of the band or their roadies or assistants would come in and get an armful and take it back to the guys. And Pacey came in and my tape and letter was in the stash that he picked up. And he got home and this must have been miserable, all going through all of this stuff. And apparently, he called Richie and he said, I'm just listening to this guy, he's got a sense of humor. He sent a picture of himself as Boy Scout, and to which Richie sniggered, and because he's somewhat warped, as we all know, and he said the guy's got a great tone, but he's absolutely rat-ass drunk. He might be worth checking out. Mwah! Thank you, Pacey. So it was astonishing. My local manager, beautiful guy we lost last year, he drove me down till he came over. Oh my God, you got the audition, you got to, one of these things. So I stole some clothes or borrowed them from the boutique I was working in. So I'd look fashionable, which was completely unfashionable for London, and made my way down to, it was on Marylebone Road, I think, Scorpio Studios in the Capitol.
It was underneath where I used to work.
That's
Capitol
right, correct,
Radio.
yeah.
And Yeah, it was an amazing
Yeah,
studio.
I have
that.
astonishing recall from that. I can see it. Or Glenn and I were talking about it recently, that, you know, in between, while the Purple guys had been jamming with him, and they went off to discuss bits and pieces. And Glenn was still relatively the new boy. He'd been in a few months. So he... I just sat at the piano, you know, I'd found my whiskey that I'd stashed, and I was having a couple of sneaky shots. Bells, Afore You Go. And I sat at the piano and I just started playing a couple of major seventh chords, minor seventh chords, you know, huge inspiration of Stevie Wonder. And I'd been working on, you know, this soul-y kind of song, and Glenn just came over and goes, "Hey, what's that?" And just sat next to me and started singing in as only Glenn Hughes can sing. And the blend, I'd never heard anything like that. I'd never experienced, I'd worked with super players, you know, fantastic players. But apparently my talent was older than me. So I ended up working with a lot of older guys, you know.
Great training.
Are you kidding? Well, totally in preparation. They all prepared me. Everything I did prepared me for that astonishing gig, you know. And then when Richie took me under his wing, creative wing, and John took me on how to behave as a wonderful human being, and how to be just bon vivant raconteur, was just glorious.
John Lord was a very, very special
one
man.
Of the very special men. Yeah, very special.
Look at this. I mean, this is with this view. Do you get kind of complacent?
No.
In any way?
I never tire of it. It's postcards from God every day.
I think that we're going to take a short break and we're going to watch one of your videos.
Oh, okay.
Because I want to go back to a Whitesnake video.
Yeah.
Maybe, Is This Love?
Oh, yes.
Is This Love?
Yeah, I wrote that originally for Tina Turner. Amazing. I had to be talked into it by John Kolodner to actually feature that, you know, because the only kind of whole ballad, and I never looked upon it as a ballad, was The Ain't No Love in the Heart of the City. If you look at like a trademark Coverdale arrangement, it starts off quiet, and then I'll go, "Oh my God, we've got to bring the band in." So you have your Here I Go Again, Love Ain't No Stranger, Ain't Gonna Cry No More, Now You're Gone. That kind of Whitesnake identity, which has permeated the entire catalogue.
And a hell of a video, this.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
What do you remember, before we play it, what do you remember?
Well, it was interesting. Tawny was late coming in, and we almost used the Haynes leg girl. It might even be that girl's leg splashing in the water. And the dress that Tawny's wearing is Azadina Laya, and she wears it extraordinarily well. She looks